Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Mel Barlow. I'm a registered nurse, educator, and researcher. And today we're going to be talking about a conversational method that you can use every day. In your everyday conversations at home, at work, if you need to speak up, greater assertiveness, give and receive feedback, or even construct your emails, which I use this method in that way. What is it and why use it? Well, it's Advocacy Inquiry, and it's a way of engaging in a conversation where you want to find out the other person's perspective of the situation. Because when we jump to conclusions and make assumptions about people's intent behind someone's thought processes leading to a particular action, we can go down a very wrong pathway very, very quickly. Because categorically, we cannot read minds. We need to engage in a conversation to find out those perspectives. So advocacy inquiry comes out of the world of business. Used a lot in healthcare now, particularly healthcare debriefing. And it's a way of having a conversation that actively engages the other person in the conversation and allows us to get curious rather than certain that we know everything, because we don't, right? Advocacy inquiry at its core comprises of 4 elements. Your observation, which is objective facts. You can take a photo of it. It's what you heard or what you read. Yep, objective data. Then we advocate our thoughts on that bit of data. So not only what our thoughts are, but why we may have those thoughts, the because. And then is the inquiry. So then we ask for the other person's perspective. Now, why is this framework important? Well, we share our advocacy first. We share our perspective first, because can you imagine stating a fact and then saying, well, what do you think about it? The other person will be like, well, I don't know. I don't want to answer until you tell me what you're thinking about it, right? They come very defensive and guarded. So advocating your point of view and why you feel that way first actually helps and makes it easier for the other person to engage and share their point of view. And we want that because we're trying to engage them in a conversation and understand their point of view so we can resolve a situation or a problem. So what does that sound like in practice? Mr. Possum, I noticed that every single tomato on my tomato bush has had a single bite taken out of them. I actually find this incredibly frustrating, as I've taken a lot of time and care growing those tomatoes. And I'm not really understanding why you've bitten every single one of them instead of eating a whole one and leaving the rest. Can you help me understand your thinking? So that is an advocacy inquiry in action. The fact was that the possum is taking a single bite out of all the tomatoes, which is unfortunately true. My point of view on that, I shared my emotions. I was actually really frustrated by that. And the because I've taken a lot of time and effort caring for them. So now I can't use them, which is very frustrating. And then I asked, well, help me understand your perspective, share your thinking, walk me through, which is the inquiry. So that's advocacy inquiry at its core. The key point then, once you ask the question, is to listen. and not listen to respond, to listen to understand. And what is the difference? Well, we're going to go through that in a dedicated video. But now you have the core elements of advocacy inquiry. There are a few extra little tweaks that you can do and consider to really make this land and stick, particularly in those more difficult situations, such as greater assertiveness, giving and receiving feedback. We're going to go through those in the next video up here. Hope to see you there.